Hello there, part-timers. Thank you for stopping by the collection room once again. Today we're taking a look at some comics. This goes right into the vein of cheap comics that I've been really craving lately. And a comic that I was able to get at a really good deal is Arak Son of Thunder. Now, I've had a few issues of these around, and I always kind of thought, well, it's a barbarian title. It looks interesting, but it wasn't top of my list. I actually started reading a few because I only got a couple issues, and I read through and I really enjoyed them. There's like monks in there, there's Vikings in there, there's magic witches and stuff. There's a whole bunch of good in there that I really enjoyed reading. So yeah, I went and popped and I got the entire series, was able to pick up all 50 issues. It wasn't too bad. I think it was like $60. That's with shipping. So that's hard to really complain about. Anyway, this is all Arak Son of Thunder. They are very good. I don't know what else to say about them. Issue 1, I already had. Of course, I think I had issue 1, 2, and 3. So these are ones that I already had, so I do have duplicates of those. I'm not too concerned about that. Issue 3. And, you know, obviously there's some Native American like going on with that. And so what's a Native American doing in this century of Europe with Vikings and kings and castles and stuff like that? That is another really interesting aspect of the story that I just found super enjoyable. Beautiful covers. And I'm really zoning in. DC has a lot of underrated barbarian slash, I don't know what you'd call them, jungle type titles that I feel like are really underrated from the 80s and 90s. They can be had for not a lot of money. And so that is something I've been really keyed in on lately, is what DC was doing. A lot of the Marvel stuff has gone up in price, and it's not as cool. This issue 9, these had some fantastic covers. Arak, I think, spun off of Warlord, the Enter the Lost World of the Warlord. I think it's just called Warlord, but just to get the whole title out there. I'm pretty sure he's from Warlord Comics, and there's a cool crossover vibe to it. It feels very cool. So if you are into Warlord, the whole premise, magical lands, barbarians, stuff like that, is very cool. The thing about them that are great, other than, I mean, art like this. This is issue number 13. Just look at the cover there. So a lot of this stuff reminds me of, I need to stop doing this. I keep touching my shirt. It's weird. Notice I have my son's name on my shirt. Not The Miz, but Alistair. A-lister. I thought it was funny. But if you remember back in the 80s, Star Comics made a lot of really cool Thundercats books. These covers always remind me of Thundercats books. So that's just one of the benefits of them. The other thing I like about books like this, they're not crossing over to a cajillion other stories. So if I get the complete run of 1 through 50, and this is issue 15, we do switch from the Conan style hair to the Mohawk style hair, which I guess would probably be more fitting of a Native American character. Not sure. I do think Mohawks were a thing, depending on the tribe. Not the tribes I'm familiar with around here. New Mexico has a lot of tribes though. Yeah, just beautiful covers. He starts looking a lot more like Korcha. Anyway, they're cool. I like that I don't have to buy everything. So if I get one series like this, it's pretty self-contained. It's not gonna veer off and I'm gonna have to buy some other book to finish the plot and find out where it went, you know. And that is just a really frustrating thing with some books. I have not even really looked at all of these covers, but they are absolutely amazing. Sorry, the allergies here have been pretty substantial with all the dust, so I am a little snorty. Yeah, just gorgeous stuff. And like I said, if you like books like Khazar, another book from DC especially was Arian, Son of Atlantis, that I just picked up the full series of recently. I've been really into these barbarian titles. They're just, I don't know, they're just cool. I love I don't like it when it gets too far into sorcery, like Doctor Strange, characters like that. I've said before, I don't really care for sorcery books, because as soon as you start incorporating magic into everything, you start to lose a lot of the stakes. And I do like sword and sorcery, though, because it does keep the sorcery aspect grounded. And just look at this guy. Look at that. That's insane. Let's see, we're on issue 24. Halfway through this series. This is when I saw the covers and I just thought, wow. I absolutely love that. These are great. So yeah, I picked up Khazar recently. A bunch more Warlords recently. And what was it I said? Yeah, Arian, Lord of Atlantis. Yeah. Arak Son of Thunder was kind of on my back burner of books I was interested in. But like I said, as soon as I started reading a few, I was like really intrigued and really wanted to pick up and see where the story went. And we're definitely getting some Jungle Girl crossover going on here. Fantastic stuff. They did an odd angle on that axe. I don't know if it worked out for them entirely. Beautiful cover. Got the maiden, you got the fire, you got all that stuff going on. And he is back in his normal hair. Somebody must have said, ditch the mohawk. Go back to your regular hair. Yeah, some of these covers I have not seen. Like I said, I just got these today, so I was pretty excited about them. These are fantastic covers. Like, this is issue 32. I would totally pull these if I saw them in dollar bins, and see, I know I have seen these in quarter bins in the past, back in the 90s, and I wasn't there. I was mostly looking for Marvel stuff. I was not on board with DC at the time. But as time goes on, of course, you start seeing things differently. And seeing a book series like this, like I said, that is self-contained, beautiful art, from what I've read so far, fantastic storytelling. I mean, absolutely amazing covers. And they're cheap. That's what gets me. These things were so cheap. And I've had people comment recently like, what are you buying this crap for? It ain't gonna be worth nothing. No. No comics are worth anything. They shouldn't be. You know, if you're into it for the big market and the slabs, go for it. That to me is just not what comics are about. Comics are about reading it. It's about the pulp. It's about the art. It's what you enjoy, and it should be cheap. And for me, comics should be cheap. Like, that is my era. Like, I should be able to buy this with my allowance, my leftover money allowance from when I'm 10. Not something I need to take a loan out on. And I have, in the past, owned my fair share of valuable comics. But I never enjoy them as much as I do just the cheap 50-cent dollar issue that I pick up somewhere. With some tatter marks on it that I can actually read, carry around, and enjoy the way a comic was intended. I think sometimes people take comic collecting way too seriously. They take comics too seriously. Comics were never meant to be taken seriously. They were supposed to just be like a pulp thing that you read and enjoyed. And look at that cover. That is fantastic. I am trying hard in my own collecting to get back to that. Collecting had gotten way out of hand with me. I had bought, as my past videos, as you can see, I bought 2 massive private collections and the inventory of a store, and I had 150 some long boxes in my house, and it was just impossible. And then I went through a crappy divorce and sold a whole bunch of stuff to survive and pay bills and do things like that and make room. And now I just want to get back to comics in the way that I remember them growing up, which is just reading them and enjoying them. Buying something that's cheap, that's got great graphics, great art, and just enjoying it for what it is. So however you want to enjoy comics that way. If you want to buy them and slab them, if you enjoy that, do it. If you want to buy cheap crap and read it, do it. Enjoy it. Don't make it stressful. Stop it. Get help. Anyway, this would be the issue 50, giant size, last issue. And then of course they throw in an annual, and I never know where the annual goes. Or I guess it comes in after issue 12 or before issue 12, or it's annual 1, so it must be the first one. Anyway, that is that. That is my big fat set of these Arak Son of Thunders. I'm dropping stuff. It's okay. I'll live. Anyway, nice chunk of comics for about $60. Shipped. They were put in terrible double bags with a bunch of tape and stuff. I don't do the bag thing anymore, really. I just take them out. I'm going to read them, enjoy them. They're going to go in the box right next to probably Warlord and Arion. And I'll just have a nice little DC Barbarian box of golden stuff that I'm going to read and enjoy. And maybe someday, little Alistair, we'll get to enjoy them as well. And that's it. What more can I expect from collecting? Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like or not. I don't care. At the beginning of this video, I called you all part-timers, and I decided that's probably going to be your guys' names from now on. It's a callback to Love Hina. I always love that. Anyway, later, part-timers.